The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
You gotta love technology, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. This is Lyn-Dee Eldridge, your Chief Happiness Officer of the Happiness Jungle. I am so thrilled coming live for you from my satellite studio in South Florida. And today I am so happy to have with us not only one of my friends, but a mentor of mine, a coach of mine, and she is beyond knowledgeable about how to connect in the world of professionalism. You know, we're going to talk about why LinkedIn. Why would you possibly want to be on LinkedIn? But most importantly, when you're on LinkedIn, let's make sure that you're visible to the world the way you want to be. Make sure that you're coming through as the professional that you want to be. And I have really viewed several LinkedIn pages that could use Debbie's help. I know that when I looked at my LinkedIn page and I says, oh boy, do I need help? And I reached out to the best of the best. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you from another one of my mentors that are down here in the South Florida area, Debby Wemyss. Debbie, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Lyn-Dee, I love your enthusiasm. Thank you for that nice introduction.
You kidding me? I feel just so blessed that you agreed to be on the show so you could share your wisdom with others like you shared with me. Ever since you helped me create an absolutely perfect LinkedIn page, I have been getting more connections that are powerful for the people that need to connect with me, and I need to connect with them. So, Debbie, I'm going to have you share your wisdom with us. And what is it that makes LinkedIn so powerful?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, LinkedIn is going into its 15th year, just turned 15 years old in May. So they've been around for a while. Let's hope they've learned a few things. I think what makes it powerful, they're still adding more than 2 new members per second. And if you think about that, that's pretty phenomenal. It has become the largest professional network on the internet. Microsoft bought LinkedIn a couple of years ago for the small sum of $24 billion. And I love what they're doing with the site. So that's one of the reasons I'm always excited about what I do, because they keep making little tweaks and changes. And most of the time it's for the better. And that's part of my job, is trying to stay on top of all those changes for my clients and prospects. But it's a terrific network where you're going to meet people. And if you know a few of the strategies to the site, you can get right in front of your target audience. And with you, for instance, keynote speaking engagements, the next thing we're going to do with you is get you right into some of those big LinkedIn groups that are looking for people to be keynote speakers. So it's that type of a network.
I love it. And you are an expert. And when we're looking for people and coaches and mentors to hire, we want to always make sure that we're working with the obvious experts, the ones that really stay programmed into up to the minute what's happening, what's new, what switches to push, and that's you. I have not only been watching you, we met just a few months ago, and when we met, and I said, wow, this was a very interesting, informative woman who I'm going to watch. I want to see how she does it on LinkedIn. And I was in such awe that I called you up and I became one of your clients, and I haven't looked back since. I'm thrilled about that, just absolutely thrilled. You also send out newsletters that have an abundance of information, and you want to share more tips with us?
Absolutely. Are you kidding? You better tell me how much time I have left, because I'll talk your ear off.
Talk my ear off. It's your time to shine.
So Thank you. One of the first things that I tell everybody, this is a piece of social media. I hear that battle cry all the time that people don't have time for social media. I always suggest that they make time for LinkedIn. Because first of all, you have to figure out where your target market is going to be. Are they going to be on LinkedIn? Are they going to be on Twitter? Are they going to be on Instagram or Snapchat or wherever? You don't have to be everywhere because your clients are not going to be everywhere. But LinkedIn has become known as the world's largest professional network. So if you're looking to get in front of key people for any type of business, from CEO level down to administrator, they're going to be on LinkedIn. So you have to have the best professional presence on LinkedIn first. That should be the goal for everybody coming out of the gate. Create a profile on LinkedIn that portrays you in the best professional way possible. So you want a few tips on profiles?
I sure do. And so does our audience. So
we'll segue there.
The purpose of the show is to make sure that our audience takes away as much as they can and then can also connect with you. So let's make sure that we give the audience 25 minutes worth of great knowledge, and you're the expert. Go for it.
Okay, I hope they're taking notes or recording. Here we go. All right, there's a couple of basics about the profile. Number one is your headshot. Please have one. Your profile is 7 times more likely to be viewed if you have a headshot. I'm still amazed at how many people don't put a headshot up on their profile. You may as well not even be on LinkedIn. People want to see who they're about to connect with. Ultimately, you're trying to make business connections that are either going to lead you to business or become your business later. So they want to get that first impression down, and you want it to be a good one. So take a picture from the shoulders up, and I'm saying that because when you come up on a search result page on LinkedIn, whatever picture you use for that headshot field, it gets reduced by 50% in the search page. So you want to make sure people can see you clearly, and that's why they specify headshot. Be smiling, face the camera. I know this stuff sounds basic. Don't have any pets hanging out on your shoulder. I've seen cockatoos. I've seen gerbils. I've seen parrots. I've seen all kinds of stuff hanging out on the shoulder, including a hand from somebody that was wrapped around that person, and then they crop the picture. Don't do that. It's a professional site, and LinkedIn does phenomenal research. They spend a lot of money researching the members, and they've shown over and over people are going to make an impression of you in 3 seconds based on whatever profile headshot you have on there. So make it a good one. Smartphones are great. I love professional photography, the best, obviously. But if you're going to do it with a cell phone, make sure you give that phone to somebody else. And please, 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 do not take a selfie. Do not take a picture inside your car. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that, and it's not just the younger users. Adults are doing this too sometimes. It's a big mistake. All right, so get that professional headshot and get it on your profile. Secondly, know your keywords. When people do searches for products, services, talent, alliances, whatever they're searching for, they generally don't know who they're looking for or what the name of the company is. And aside from referrals, of course, if someone has your name, they're going to jump right on your profile. But otherwise, you're going to be trying to get found in a keyword search. So know your keywords, and you don't have to overthink that. It's the same words that you would use to find somebody if you didn't know their name or anything about them. So my keywords include things like LinkedIn trainer, LinkedIn coach, marketing professional, because that was my whole background for a lot of years. And you've got different keywords depending on what your expertise is, but they are expertise based. They're not adjectives. If you're a stellar graphic designer, leave out the word stellar, just use graphic designer. And if you are, I like to give this tip too, because my whole background was 23 years of nonprofit work. If you work for a nonprofit, you can say nonprofit 4 different ways. So you've got 4 different keywords to use for nonprofit. NPO, nonprofit spelled out as one word. nonprofit, hyphenated, and not-for-profit. So anytime you have an acronym that's affiliated with your name, you want to make sure that you use it as an acronym, as a keyword, and then spelled out. I always tell people get about a dozen keywords together. That's a good start. Everyone has a lot more than 12, but start with 12. Make sure your headline includes a few of those keywords. The headline is right underneath your name, which is right underneath your profile headshot. And it's the first thing people see. They go from looking at your headshot to your headline. The default is not something you have to stick with. And the default is going to be your title and company that LinkedIn will pull right from your experience section. Whatever you put in there for your current work, that's what's going to end up on your headline. Change that. Click the little pencil icon to the right of your headshot, and you'll get into a whole template of fields that you can change. I like to tell my clients to pull from those 12 keywords the ones that they want to emphasize the most, the ones that they want people to know about right off the bat. Now, there's another new option available through the mobile app. And through the mobile app, editing your profile, you can add 100 more characters onto your headline. And if you look at my headline, it looks pretty long. That's how I got all those extra characters in there. 100 characters is a lot. You can actually make a statement or a call to action, meaning words. Don't put your phone number or your website into your headline. That is against the user agreement. Ultimately, you can get your account restricted for breaking those rules, which no one ever reads. It's 6 pages of do's and don'ts, actually page 8. If you go to the user agreement off of your home page, just scroll down to page 8 and pay attention to a whole page of do's and don'ts on LinkedIn, and then you'll play it safe as far as not breaking any rules. The other thing you want to do is write up a summary, and people generally hate to write about themselves. I always tell them, think of what you would want to know on someone's profile. First of all, write it in the first person tense. That's been proven repeatedly to be the best format. Secondly, don't make it a billboard about your company. This should be a mix of information. A little bit about you, a little bit about why you're passionate. I always assume everybody's passionate about what they're doing, right? So you don't want to... I know you didn't have any problem with that when we got together. And honestly, take a look at Lyn-Dee's profile, because that summary is a good example of exactly what I'm talking about. I always start with a compelling statement. And that's because LinkedIn only shows the first couple of sentences, and you got to get the viewer to click show more to expand and see the rest of what you have to say. So, if you're in a unique business or you have a unique tagline, get that information out right off the bat to make the viewer interested in wanting to learn more. So that's why I always tell people, don't make your summary a billboard about your company. You are ultimately making connections on here. You're building relationships, and people want to know who they're dealing with. So the headshot comes in first, and your summary is going to be read. LinkedIn's proven that too. If you have a summary on there, viewers will read it. So tell them why you're passionate about what you do. Tell them how you can help them with whatever problem it is that you solve. It's really fun for me to work with so many different industries, so many different levels of members. I've worked with people from kids coming out of college and wanting to use LinkedIn for job seeking, right up through the ranks to CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Those are really fun people to work with because they never want to work with me. They always want to throw their assistant. I'm not going to use this. Let me have my assistant work with you. Ultimately, I get them to work directly with me because I want them to see what their sales team is going to get from me if they hire me for corporate coaching. So the summary is important. And one thing I'm going to tell you that people leave off the summary a lot, a call to action. You want to get your phone number, your website, your email right into your summary so that every viewer can see how to get hold of you if you've piqued their interest. A couple more sections. Build out your experience section. 15 years generally is plenty. Of course, if you're coming out of college, you're not going to have that kind of experience, so you can add your volunteering under the experience section if you're younger and you don't have that full-blown career. But you don't have to go back to, the 70s. Hey, they were great. 80s were great. You don't have to go back that far. You just want to give people validation of what it is that you do. So build out that experience section. Use lots of keywords in your description fields. Let's see, the skills section, you're allowed 50. That's 50 skills. And before you roll your eyes, let me tell you, LinkedIn's going to help you do that. The minute you start typing a skill to put in there, they're going to list about 20 more that start with that word or that phrase, and they're trying to help you build it out. You can be redundant. It's okay, because you're trying to take a shot at how everyone or anyone might type into the search field to find somebody like you. So again, there's 10 different ways to say graphics. There's a lot of ways to talk about keynote speaking, Lyn-Dee. Do you want to focus on a certain subject? So you can allude to that in the skills section. What else? Be active.
Wow. Hey, Debby, before we go any further, I'm going to ask us both to do a strip. You ready for this?
Maybe a strip. Okay.
Okay. Our earrings are causing maybe a little bit of a. So let's go ahead and remove our earrings. I'm going to ask you to remove yours, and I'm going to remove mine. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Didn't think of that. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because your information is just so powerful and so amazing that I'm hearing it, which means that the viewers might hear it, and I don't want to be distracted. So
okay.
I think it's better. Oh, my God. It's much better. You and I have just done a strip.
Oh, okay. That's another meaning for that word.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so continue, please. Now I can hear you without any kind of a scratching.
Oh, sure. And you know what? I apologize a bit because I get into a ramble here. So, if you have a question, put your finger up or just shout out at me. So I'll be quiet.
There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, so once you get your profile set up, then the next thing you want to pay attention to is engagement. You want to build your network. That's what you're on there for, is to build connections. There's an old saying that people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. That is not going to ever go out of style. I always tell people, start with your phone. Look at your phone contacts. Start looking some of those people up. Look at the professional organizations you belong to. I belong to a couple of chambers. They have member lists, and there's a great start. You can go to any type of category in your life, really, and think about people that you know. Neighbors, professional associates, past coworkers, past bosses. For the younger set, who always says, oh, I don't know anybody on LinkedIn. Well, yes, you do. How about all your teachers? Assuming you haven't burned any bridges there. Or coach, I've heard it all from the college kids that I work with. It's fun. Coaches, the younger set, I always ask them, do you follow sports? Who's your favorite team? Who's the coach on the team? And I'll type up the coach's name, and there he is on LinkedIn. So, there's somebody for everybody, and hundreds of people. And chances are good there's a big percentage of them on LinkedIn. So you can also go to your list of email addresses. Now, that being said, I'm not in favor, and LinkedIn will tap very strongly on your shoulder when you're new to the site. They will be asking you repeatedly, oh, give us your contact list and we'll see who's on LinkedIn. No, I don't give up a whole list to LinkedIn or any other site. I'd rather pick and choose who I want to look up and connect with, and that's the key. You want to get on the person's profile, so search for them. It's a very simple thing. Upper left corner of the home page or any page is the search field. It's right on that black bar across the top of the page. Any page, it never goes away. That's the black navigation bar, and that's where everything happens. So that search field on the left, you just plug in someone's name and hit enter, and if it's a common name, they're going to give you 20 John Smiths. Well, then you can filter it down by location and follow the metropolitan areas, and you'll eventually find who you're looking for if it's a common name. But here's the thing. You want to personalize your invitations. A personalized invitation is 5 times more likely to be immediately accepted than if you just hit connect somewhere else on the platform and out goes an invitation with no words. It lands in the person's inbox. If they don't know you, they're going to be saying, who is this Debby Wemyss and why does she want to connect with me? And they might just hit ignore on me. I always tell people, give people the benefit of the doubt that they may not know how to personalize an invitation, and go to their profile, click on their name or their face, and you'll go to their profile and you're looking for value. So do they work in an industry that you have a need to get into? Are they in professional organizations that you would like to know more about? Is there value in connecting with this person? And you know what? It really doesn't matter where they are. I've had a lot of people say, well, they're not in Florida, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. You don't know who people are connected to. No doubt you've run into this, Lyn-Dee, because I originally up in New Hampshire, a lot of your connections are probably from New England. I know a lot of mine are. I've been down here 40 years, I think. Good grief. But I'm originally from, Cambridge, Mass. is my birthplace, but I was raised in Southern Maine, went to school in Worcester, Mass. I still like the Patriots. Don't hold that against me. But you don't have to worry about where people are, because people start connecting with people literally all over the world on this site. And you just never know who people are connected to. And that's the whole idea. You're building a professional network. It's a wonderful site.
Debby, as we're coming to a close, can you believe it?
Yes.
Okay, so as we're coming to a close, I want to go ahead, and there's one thing that I want people to realize, that the LinkedIn is also a way to build a relationship before you start soliciting the person. So when we go ahead and we connect with someone and we're sending a message, should we go right into it and let them know exactly what we do, what we're looking for, and invite them to do what we do? Or should it be a soft way just to build a relationship first? Can we go ahead and touch on that? Because so many people contact me and right away they're pitching me.
Right.
Share your opinions about that.
Thank you. That's probably one of the most important things. So, no, pitching out of the gate is a no-no. It's rude. I equate that to someone running. I'm going to a networking event tonight. I guarantee you there'll be somebody that comes up to me with a handful of business cards and they'll shove one at me before they extend their hand to shake hands. So that's how I look at somebody that says thank you for connecting on LinkedIn. That's great, but don't go into a big pitch. You have to develop the relationship just like you do in person. I wouldn't walk up to your fantastic producer up there in New Hampshire and say, hey, Dave, you got to work with me because I'm going to make your LinkedIn a stellar presentation, blah, blah, blah. No, Dave needs to get to know who I am first and see if I can even help him. I don't even know what his goals are. So you need to develop a back and forth exchange. You can do it through messaging. You can pick up on something on their profile and key into that with a brief message. I do get asked a lot to have lunch. My schedule, God bless the gods. I can't remember the last time I went out to lunch with someone, but here's a great tip. If you've got new connections in your area, invite them to the next networking event that you're going to. It's a fantastic way to bring your local connections in front of you. And I've been an advocate of that for years. Now there's actually a kind of an organized strategy called LinkedIn Local that's popping up all over the world. It started in Australia about a year ago. And people are organizing designated evenings called like LinkedIn Local Wellington or LinkedIn Local Boca or West Palm. And it's actually for LinkedIn members to get together for like a happy hour and meet each other face to face. And they always schedule a good speaker that has, something for everybody. They're great events. I encourage everybody to look for one in your area or even start one. You can go to linkedinlocal.com and you can get the basics because there is kind of a format they want you to follow. But the whole point is, you have to build the relationship. People need to get to know you first before they're going to buy from you or before you can find out how you can help them. So that was a great point, Lyn-Dee.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And, it's kind of like online dating.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Hi. So you want to be real. I don't either. You want to be real, you want to be authentic, and what a great place to meet other people that you connected with on LinkedIn through these LinkedIn social networking events that are live.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's a really great tip. Debbie, how can people get a hold of you? Because I know for a fact that you have clients all over the world and that you could be helping so many more people that are listening to our show today. How do people get in touch with the Miss Wonderful Debbie? How do they do it?
No pressure. Thank you. You graciously put my name on the screen. Thank you, thank you. I love my Scottish name and heritage, but it's impossible to remember or spell or pronounce. So it's Wemyss, W-E-M-Y-S-S, Debby with an I-E. Look me up on LinkedIn and connect with me there. Mention in your little invitation that you heard this broadcast. That would be fun. Another way is just straight out info@DW Consulting Solutions .com. I know it's a long name. If I had to do it over, I'd make it a little shorter. But again, my website also has the link to get hold of me. You can Google my name and my LinkedIn profile will come up first because that's what I do. I'll get you up to the top on the Google rankings. But it's great. Connect with me.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I'm blessed.
And you do love what you do, and that's why you shine brighter than most people do that I've met that call themselves LinkedIn specialists. And I'm sure they're great at what they do, but you are so passionate about it that it's more than a business. It really is a lifestyle for you, and I felt that, and that's why you and I connected as well as we did. And it's just amazing. Like-minded people stick together, and you are a shining star. So are there any last words? We've got about 5 seconds for you to give any last tips before we go ahead and say goodbye to our viewers.
Sure. Don't get that beautiful profile up and sit back and wait for the phone to ring. That's not going to work either. You need to continually build your network. I've got over 8,000 connections. I still invite people every day. And put a post on the homepage or click like or comment on someone else's post. Stay engaged.
Oh, man, Debbie, I can't believe it, but our time is up. You're a blessing to me. You're a blessing to every single person that's watching this all over the world. And guys, this is Lyn-Dee Eldridge, your Chief Happiness Officer. And I never said life was easy, but I did say you can be happier. With these tips, your professional life can now just bloom. Call Debbie, make an appointment with her, and get the solid advice from a professional who loves what she does. That's it for today, everybody. Debbie, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Lyn-Dee.
Bye. Thank you. I absolutely adore and I appreciate you being on the Happiness Jungle TV show.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.